this cold wintry day that it is.
Is it cold? I
It,
thought
Blistery
it
cold.
would warm up a little bit.
it was cold this morning.
It's supposed to
It's
be
good.
sunny today.
Sunny, chilly.
Yeah.
It was like
Mm,
-20 this morning plus wind chill. So there it is,
okay.
which is good. Get your dog booties on you or your dog or both. That's fine.
You don't have matching booties with your dog, do you?
Don't you? No, I don't.
I know.
Alex, do you have matching booties with your dog?
No, I actually don't give them booties. I think it kind of devolves them a little bit. Not that it's anything people do it, but I don't want them to devolve and be like, then they need booties to go out and live. So
All right.
I want
Does
them
he
to
have a
stay.
little jacket?
Survive.
I used to when it was really cold, and then I kind of weaned them off a little bit. So, but they're okay now. They can do whatever they want. So, yeah,
Yeah, me
it's
too.
for them. It's for them. I'm doing it for them.
Okay. Yes, dog booties and jackets. Be
A future episode, so stay tuned. Um,
absolutely.
yeah.
Alex, start us
Um,
off.
yes. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is another edition of Smoke Talk. Today we are discussing an episode that we had filmed with Kim Brothers at Moonstone. Um, this one's pretty cool. And yeah, I think just some brief introductions. My name is Alex from Wesquosie Peak, First Nation in Manitoba. I kind of do the back end stuff here. And then I'm part of these episodes every once in a while, and yeah, that's it for me.
Hanging out with all your fish on your wall.
Yeah, I got the one back there, and then this one from um,
Comic Con.
the Comic Con. Yes, that's what that was from. So I was like the comparison of the two. Yeah,
They're like replicas. I don't know which is which.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
pretty cool.
This was a portrait drawn of this guy. Yeah.
Awesome. Emo.
Hi, everybody. It's hi, everybody. I'm Emil, and I edit, and I'm sometimes on here too.
You're always on Smoketalk.
And yeah, I mean, in the episodes,
Yeah.
in the main episodes, we're on there sometimes. But yeah,
Sweet. Cool. And I'm Corey, your host, trying to bring forward the science of our knowledge and knowledge of the land. And yeah, this was a fun episode. We went to Moonstone Creation which is located in Inglewood in Calgary, Alberta, and we chatted with Kim Brothers about the art and science of hide art or beads, quill work,
Well,
bark, all of that fun stuff.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so if you need any gifts and or for yourself or for others or just to hang out, they support
For
a lot of,
us.
and for us, you can send us gifts. Absolutely.
send us gifts from Moonstone.
Go check them out. They support a lot of local artists. So they do good work there. So yeah, what did you learn from Kim that day amongst the thousands and thousands of beads in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I remember talking about the hide tanning and just learning more about uh, how they tan hides. And I always thought it was interesting the perfect ratio of using the brains to tan hides and that perfect ratio of the size of the brain and how much, you know, that's needed compared to
Mhm.
the hide. That, of course, that's the perfect ratio because that's the brain of the animal. So, and the brain softens the hides up and protects it, which is pretty cool. And how Yvonne put her moccasins in the washing machine. Don't do that. But that was hilarious.
Yeah, what happens if you do that? I can't remember.
Apparently that was fine. I don't know. But I don't please, or I'm not advocating for that. Yvonne is an expert. Expert with the moccasins. So yeah. Yeah. What did you both learn?
I remember actually that's the very first time I ever remember seeing fish scales used in crafting.
Hmm.
And that really stood out for me because I was like, what? I didn't, yeah, it was the first time I ever seen that.
Hmm.
So
I
that
didn't.
stuck out for me, and I was like, wow. It looks like, to me, it looked like giant fly wings,
Mm.
giant hardened fly wings.
Hmm.
And it was pretty cool. I thought that,
Yeah.
yeah.
I always think they look very delicate, but they're not. They're very, they, they're so small, they look like they would break easily, but they don't,
Hmm.
which is very cool. And I think I remember asking a question about uh, the best way to, because they're all different colors, and I remember I thought, obviously my misunderstanding, I thought the best way to dye the fish scales was with Kool-Aid. I don't.
Uh-huh.
I that was no, you just use dyes, but um like clothing dyes. Maybe not Kool-Aid, that was something else. I don't know if
Yeah,
that
yeah.
works. Somebody let me know. But yeah, I think that was, I don't know. Is Alex, have you seen that before? The fish scale art? Or is that common or
Um,
practiced?
no, I've heard of it before,
Yeah.
but I've never actually seen it. But the scales that I think she was saying they use white fish.
Yep.
Um, I haven't heard about it with white fish before, but I have heard it. Um, I think if I'm correct, sometimes they would use like Arctic char. I think that's because they come down from the rivers
Hmm.
that come off from Hudson Bay. But I think
Hmm.
that's the scales they'd use. But anyway, um, yeah, no, really cool. I never seen that before. I thought they were super delicate too. I mean, they just kind of look like they would be something very
Yeah.
delicate.
Yeah.
Probably the toughest thing part of the art piece. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. And using the bones too. I hadn't seen that
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah, the fish
I think the
bones.
bones are delicate. I don't know how they're prepped or how they're um, preserved, but
Hmm.
I feel like they're delicate.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I
Yeah.
know. I've only seen it with whitefish. I know. So Yvonne, who's the owner of Moonstone, and my mom, they're cousins, and from up north, from Big Prairie and Sucker Creek area. And yeah, there's lots of fish on the lakes around there. So I know they fished a lot, and that was quite common. But yeah, I don't know of other fish that were used, but very cool. Um,
Mhm.
I also thought the OG beads. So I think they're the OG bedazzles. As you're saying, to bedazzle your clothes. Glass beads. That was a trade from settlers. But the original beads, if you think of uh was seeds and like wolf willow seeds, which I have here. Hopefully we'll get this video episode out. So here's some of the original. How do I do this? Oh, hold on. You're supposed to do it like this. What do you do? Like this.
Uh,
There. And then these are wolf willow. And you get you peel off the outside and there's powder inside, which it's got to be used for something or some kind of medicine because it's very cool. And then they're kind of like this after, like this. If we can see, and there's kind of very cool like striations on them. And then you make this stuff, which is very cool. And you process them and you soak them. Actually, this was gifted to me from Elvin Harvey. Shout out, who's a Navajo astrophysicist scientist at MIT doing his postdoc. Check out his episode on the podcast. Season 1, we'll have Elvin back very soon. We're talking to him, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, he gifted this to me with the seeds. So very cool to, look at willow seeds, and because there's a hole in the middle of the inside of the seeds. So that's why when you soak them, then you can bead them together. So that's very cool. And yeah, thinking about what were used before glass beads, seeds, different bones, shells, even tufting. Tufting is fascinating.
Yeah.
With moose.
Rocks
No,
too.
sorry.
Rocks too.
Rocks.
Yeah,
Rocks.
rocks. Oh yeah.
Teeth. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elk
Um,
teeth, yeah.
the quill work is something that I don't know much about. Using porcupine quills, I think it's fascinating how, if you've seen some of the intricate art, we have a lot more out east. The quill work, using porcupine quills, and you flatten them and you almost weave them. I don't know how. And you there's a way that you can weave them together so they anchor each other down, so you don't have to don't have to use any sinew or any needle and thread. You use the the architecture, I guess, of the quill itself, and the almost how you layer them so they support each other. Very cool. Don't know much about that. Curious, but yeah. Either of you done any tufting or quill work, or working with any of these OG bedazzles?
None of it. None of it. I've never done any of this stuff. So this was a really cool experience. We all got to see brief insight into all these things, and yeah, I didn't know about like any of these things before. So
Mm-hmm.
really cool.
Yeah, I've seen the tufting around. I mean, I think a lot of dene work has a lot of tufting, moose tufting, and
Moose, caribou.
yeah, and the quill work. That's what my my relative said, that that's what we used for our beads is porcupine quills, like for regalia and all that, and it's all. And then
So
looking
cool.
through like the museum archives and restoring some of the photos, you could see that the quill work and the patterns and everything. And then, but yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I'm sure they had ways of coloring different beads and whatnot with like berries. And
Kool-Aid.
actually, what you made me think about was when I first heard about how they used to make buckskin, like the white
Mm-hmm. Mm.
buckskin was used, and then I was like, when they told me, yeah, you use the the brains to turn it white, and I was like, how does like, and I just kind of never knew, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that's so strange to use the brains to turn the hide white, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
huh. And they're like, yeah, that's why it's not, back in the day, it wasn't like perfectly white like it is now because they bleach, but back in the day, it was like it turned it a whiter color than the
Mm-hmm.
actual beige or tan that it's colored. And I was like, huh, that's that was crazy to me when I
Mm-hmm.
first learned that.
Alex, have you tanned hides?
Yeah, yeah. I've tanned hides. We've never done rain tanning before. That was the first time I ever heard about that. Was with Winston Wadsworth. Did a 4 day eye tanning with him, and yeah, really, really cool. He goes into the science of it and why the hides change colors and
Mm-hmm.
um, kind of why they would do that. But yeah, no, we've never done anything actually. I have a buffalo hide behind me that was tanned and um, far far different looking than anything I've seen
Mm.
um, traditionally done in these parts. So
Yeah, because you can. What's the difference between like smoke tanning and brain tanning? Is that right? Or no?
Hmm.
yeah, uh, like there's even a difference in um, the hide I have here and like suede, for example. One is waterproof and one isn't. So
So
it's cool.
this
You can actually waterproof one side of it, and then the other side you can leave or do
would that be
whatever.
with the smoke
Uh,
tanning?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's lots of different things you can do with the hides. I mean, even if you were just to string them up to a frame and then scrape them and then let them dry, that like preserves it for a long time. So if you re-soak it, you can actually like use it at a further date and then smoke it then or do whatever you want to do later. But um, yeah, tons of different things. You can leave the hair on one side and then dry it and then scrape it, or you can wet it and then scrape it and smoke it. Like there's just so many things you can do with it. So
Hmm.
really cool.
Yeah, because the smoke, I remember I think we were talking with Daryl Kootenay, talking about smoke
Mm.
tanning and but smoke as preservation also with looking at the I think it's the lignin in the wood. So wood with higher lignin amounts, like harder
Mm.
woods, provide more. There's something within the smoke that provides a layer on the either the meat or excuse me or the hides that's yeah water original Gore-Tex I guess, but also preserves the meat and allows it to be antibacterial, antifungal, all that good stuff.
Mhm.
Science. Very cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Alex,
and I don't know if it's the same for Daryl, but the way um, to actually smoke that hide is to wrap it and then have holes inside. Maybe you guys know this, but those coals have to come from that higher lignin wood, so it's not inflame your hide. So yeah, yeah, to charcoal it.
uh, Alex, you made some mucklucks recently. Your first mucklucks. They looked awesome.
Oh yes, those yes. That was for the CEO, the new CEO of Telespark. We had a ceremony just the other day for him, so I made these as a way of just having a start of a good relationship and just a reminder that we both need to walk together in a good way. So
They looked
um,
awesome, and
yeah,
they
I
were
have
lined.
I have half of another one done. So
And we're starting show and tell early.
Mhm.
Stay tuned for the next episode of Ancestral Science Podcast.
yeah, so this is a different one. I just tried it a different way, but it's
Dude,
lined, and then it's um, my family's clan on the side. So this way, people would know if we were to go to anyone else's land, they would know who I am based on. So, yeah, but yeah, this is suede, so it's not smoked or anything.
yeah,
You can see the fibers and all that. I'll show the difference in a little bit. But,
sweet.
yeah.
Alex, the muckluck maker.
Well, yeah, well, I learned it. I learned it from a couple people. So like even some of this wasn't purely me, but I did help a lot of it. So
Cool, cool, cool. Um, I always thought uh tufting is really interesting. I don't have any of my I've only tried it a couple times, but it's amazing. It's very satisfying, I will say. It's amazing how you take a piece of the fur and you kind of wrap it around and then pull it through and then you pull it really tight. It's shocking how I don't know. It takes a lot of strength to do tufting. And then but then you like have to cut around the edges and it's very satisfying. It's very cool. And
what is that one tree um that is used and they're like always trimmed and cut?
Bonsai.
The bonsai tree. That's our version of it, is right there.
Yeah.
So
very therapeutic. Yeah.
yeah,
Also, I think that's also a purpose of a
yeah.
bonsai tree. That's the calm in trimming and shaping. Yeah. Um,
Ah.
Oh, when you're stressed, do some tufting.
When you're
So you
stressed.
get out your anger when you're like anchoring all the fur first, and then you just get to shape it. Chill out. There we go. Look, we created a new therapy. Actually, it's an old therapy, probably.
Probably. Yeah.
um,
I know that a lot of these things, like even beading, would be done if you had kids that were really hyperactive and didn't focus and misbehave. They would bead to calm themselves down.
hmm.
Do something like tufting to, reel it in. Come on, reel it in. Like take a breather there.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Your beating kind of reflects if you're really stressed or angry, you can it shows in the beads. Yeah. I usually try to bead in the winter time. I don't know why. It's in my head. But I haven't for a couple of years. So
Mm.
I have some of my beading here that we can chat about after. Or if we want to chat about it now. Here's one of my Northern Lights ones,
Whoa.
which is pretty cool.
What is what is that for?
What is it for?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just I often do these and I give them away or I make other art pieces. I have this one from a while ago. That's it's from a dream I had. It's an overhead view of all the this is winter trees and the fall, and that's the Thunderbird constellation and the full moon. But
Wow.
these beads were a little bit too big for that one. But we learn. So oh yeah, you weren't here for the last episode. Okay, we're doing it. We're gonna keep going with the beating since this is an art episode. But this is I don't know if you've seen it's my favorite one. It's
Oh,
yeah, it's birch, and you can see like it's all but it's different
yeah.
ones, which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, one more. And what plant is this?
Was that rat root?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. And it's kind of
That's
3D.
good, man. That's really good, Corey. That's crazy. I didn't know you had that.
Yeah. Those are the unmade ones, the medicines. I've started some kind of the appropriation, which is also what I want to talk about next before at the end of this episode, but the appropriation of medicines. And so I've done they're downstairs, but it's kind of a beaded medicine and then kind of that appropriation of the medicine. So I have beaded sage, and I don't know, in what I've been told is when you bead, especially with Métis or Cree beading, when you're beading the medicines, it's also connecting you with the medicines, so you are also healing through those like the plant medicines as you were beating them. And so it's interesting beating the sage, and then I have like an extractive like wire that connects with this little those little apothecary bottles, and inside is like maybe little tiny dollar bills and like the uh appropriation of sage and like different bundles that you used to. I remember you could buy them at one point on it was some large box store that was selling sage, and so anyway, it's like appropriation in the bottle. And what was the other one I did? It's downstairs. Anyway, but the little fun little dollar bill bundles were fun to make. They're like but speaking of appropriation and appreciation with Indigenous art, that's a thing. Unfortunately, I always say, I know we've all sold some of Ancestral Science merch at some different markets and hung out at lots of Indigenous markets. I always like to buy from people that are beading at their table. Right? There's I don't know. You can see their artwork. It's not in the package, but
Yeah, it shows authenticity.
Yeah.
It's authentically
Indigenous.
indigenous.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. Go to the Authentically Indigenous Craft Show, which is next weekend, December 5th through 7th at the Confluence Historic Site and Parkland in Calgary. It is awesome. Get lots of stuff there. Shout out. Yeah, we love Authentically Indigenous. I am going
Yep.
to, I thought it was this weekend. It's next weekend.
Next weekend.
December 5th.
And they vet, I'm pretty sure they vet their vendors, so
yeah.
you know you're getting the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the amount of time and skill it takes to make all of this, the beadwork, the quill work. It's, then you can, unfortunately, I know a lot of people undersell their goods because they want to, but it's also, really it should be double the price that it is for the amount of skill. Think of how long, even a ribbon dress. I saw something about why a ribbon dress is so expensive. Like, yeah, do you know how much? First of all, the time, and you know how much ribbons are? Like ribbons for a ribbon dress that even 4 ribbons. Think of the circumference of that ribbon is expensive. Ribbons itself is like that's probably $60, right? And never mind some of those ribbon skirts that have full like 10, 12, 14 rows of ribbons. And then the time and the skill and you can't. The fabric is super expensive. Yeah, they should be a lot more than what they are. So respect when you're going out. Don't complain about the prices. If anything, give them a little bit more because and don't buy beaded earrings on those
Etsy.
Yeah. There's some is there good stuff? There's good stuff on Etsy.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure there's.
But there's, if it's too
or like Amazon.
Yeah. If it's too cheap to it's like, wow, that's a great price. Why is that a good price?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Alex, do you go to the art markets?
No, I don't really go to markets. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just something I haven't done. I don't know. I don't mind them. No issues at all. I don't know. I just don't go to any.
What are your thoughts on appropriation versus appreciation of Indigenous art? Where's the line?
I think I'm gonna point out a couple things, and I think you guys will know you guys will see what I'm talking about. But I think if we are defining appropriation and appreciation, is profit involved? Is I want to say like reputation / self boosting involved? And I think those things really kind of shift which side of that dilemma you're on. There's probably more, but that's just what's coming off the top of my head. Like, I think if you're making something, an art piece, for example, a painting, and you sell it and you're saying, well, I'm appreciating the culture, that feels weird to me. I don't know, that just feels weird to me. And then if like, trying to think, yeah, let's say for example, you get approached by an organization that wants to feature some of your artwork, and they say, but we want to tie it in some way to the Indigenous peoples and land that we're on, and then you do that. So you might not necessarily be making money, but it's boosting you because your name is plaqued in front of it, and it's being promoted by people. And so I don't know, that feels like it's the intention, right? I mean, we often talk about intention, and a lot of these things really boil down to it. So you can tell, I don't know, you can tell, like That's the thing about niches. We don't ever talk about it like in public, but you can always just know. You see the situation and you just kind of you understand the intention.
Yep.
Um, and that also sets apart, I think, from appreciation to appropriation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Emil, what do you think?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a tough subject. Tough subject because, being in, um, like we used to do like markets and everything. Kristen and I, because she used to sell her dolls and everything, and other things like, um, I made chokers and everything, like chokers for your just bracelets and choker chokers,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, the appropriation. Like, I guess the biggest example was when we were in Saskatchewan, and there was a table
Mm-hmm.
of people that weren't Indigenous, and all their table just had like beading, and they're in like plastic bags and everything, and I was kind of like, oh, what are, I was like, what are they doing here, kind of thing. And it's just
Yeah.
like, and apparently they buy stuff off of people and then go and sell it at different places, like different markets and everything, and powwows, and so it was like the stuff they were selling, I guess, was authentic, but I don't know. That's where it just gets weird because it's like, okay, what do you say? Like,
Yeah.
do
well,
you complain and say like, well, these guys are selling somebody else's stuff, you know?
But where were the names? I didn't see any names on
Yeah,
who's the artist.
I think
I
I
don't
think
know.
you can say authentically made, but not authentically sold, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I think, yeah, yeah, all the things we're talking about, all like we all know, like we all batted eyes without even talking about it, and there's reasons for that.
They were
We
busy
never had
though.
conversations with these people. We didn't.
hmm
Um, there wasn't anything super obvious that made them stand out. It was you just know. There's just I don't know. There's something about it. We all can kind of feel and see it, and we all kind of notice like something's off. And um, yeah, if I didn't know that they were being purchased from Indigenous um, people and then resold at a marked up price. I didn't know that, but yeah, authentically made but not authentically sold. So
Yeah.
hmm
yeah.
But also I think of I know I've been asked a question and about if someone's non-indigenous, can they purchase or wear, beaded earrings or whatnot? And of course, that's appreciation. But I also say, ask, make sure you remember who made them and where they're from, what community they're connected with. Because then when someone's like, those are amazing earrings, oh, I can tell you who made them and where they're from, and then you can purchase those too,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. Like, okay, I remember Kristen was getting. Oh, right. She was getting fabric at this place in Edmonton, and then she noticed that there was a display with these dolls with ribbon skirts. And so she, excited to see somebody else doing the same thing. And she's like, "Oh, cool. Who made these and everything?" And one of the employees there she was like, "Oh, me." And she was not had zero connections to any indigeneity at all. And then Kristen's like, "Oh, okay, well, cool. Who taught you how to do that?" Like, just trying to see
Yeah,
what her teachings were and
yeah,
everything. And then
yeah.
she's like, nobody. I made them. And then she's like, and then Kristen like had to tell her, that's not right. You're being cultural, you're appropriating. And then the woman was like, got really insulted and mad. And then she was just like, well, why can't we make this? And she was just like, you're wearing jeans. We made that. And it was just like, whoa. So, yeah, so she went right to management and said this is inappropriate, and she put a stop to it. And I don't even think that person works there anymore. And it was just like, I think the management was embarrassed, and they're like, I'm so sorry, like we weren't aware. And but just the audacity to, is that the right word, audacity, or the
Yeah.
boldness
Yeah.
Yeah.
to just like think that it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, in some ways, it is. If you have the teachings from somebody, if somebody taught you and you could say, this person taught me how to do this, and these are the teachings they taught me. So in my stuff, I use, their teachings to, you know, this is what I learned from them.
And I give some of the profits to them because of their teachings.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, oh,
I
okay, well,
don't know.
that's, yeah, but then it's like it's up to the maker too to understand what's appropriate and what isn't.
Yeah.
And then just because, like, you know, um just because you can make something, so yeah, it's tough because some people learn how to make
Yeah.
full pairs of moccasins,
Yeah.
ribbon shirts, ribbon skirts, like they learned all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then they start selling it, and it's just like, it
Yeah.
it's up to the seller to be like, am I doing this with a good heart, or am I just trying to make a buck?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
I'm
that,
itchy to
people do
say,
this. Sorry. People do this as a living, beating and making these, beautiful handmade products to, that's their job, and to
Hmm.
passing on this knowledge and the teachings. But yeah, and that intention, like, again, I think it goes back to that intention of, doing this for, you know, to show the craft, to show the art, to show their skills, and
Hmm.
to, I think profit, there's maybe not the right word, but I mean, I don't know. You know me, I'm not the best with profit stuff. Because now
Hmm.
we just give away merch, but also you can purchase merch, of which we don't really on our website. Check it out. Alex, what you're going to say?
yeah, I have two things as you guys were speaking that I was thinking about. So to go back to the earrings and the merch and stuff like that, like just people buying it and wearing it. I think we have to look even further than that because why do you want to buy those things? For example, if there was a pretendian, and no one knows they're a pretendian, but if there were, and they specifically purchase these things in order to appreciate, wear these things, elevate themselves in community, and therefore get better jobs, or it's the intention. Like
Yeah.
I'm looking at that and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, but why? Why do you want to wear that? I don't want to. I'm not going around wearing other cultures' clothing. Like there's a reason why, and so I'm not saying it's off limits, but um, I think there's even a separation that we're not even acknowledging there. That there
Hmm.
are people,
Yep.
there are pretensions out there. There are people that are trying to boost themselves and make themselves look different or more than they are, and it's through doing those things of wearing these clothing, um, these jewelry and stuff like that. So
Yep.
um,
Yep.
yeah, I think it's even a step further than that. And then talking about making these things and selling them. So I'm gonna point out a pretty good example. So when I was high tanning with Winston, he showed me how to brain tan everything and from start to finish how they would do it. And me, I could go around and start promoting myself as someone who could do that and then start teaching people about it. But and although I know how to do it, I don't have the protocols to do that. I don't have the transfers. And I think that's a big difference. Like I can attend a ribbon shirt making class and then I know how to do it, but that doesn't give me the right to go and then make these things.
Yep.
So with Winston, at the very end, he said, okay, everyone's going to sit in a circle. And then we went through a ceremony to transfer all of us that right to go and do these things. And that's the only reason why I'm allowed to do that. I'm respecting his knowledge and his teachings through his protocols, because all of this is through protocols. And so I don't think that just because you know how to do it means you should. There's protocols for each community, and they all look different, but you have to respect that as well. If you're respectful enough to make these things, you're respectful enough to follow that protocol as well. So those were thoughts I thought about. Because that lady at that store is saying, well, you're wearing jeans, and well, why am I not allowed to do this? But that's a clear disconnect from the community, from the person who taught you. Like, do you have the transfers to do this? Are you allowed to do this? Who says, right? So yeah, those are my 2 cents on those two things.
No, absolutely. I think the jeans thing, I remember hearing that as a pushback a couple of years ago, and I don't know if it's from that conversation or widespread conversation about, well, why aren't you wearing, Indigenous people aren't wearing their buckskin all the time, or why don't they live in teepees, and it's obviously, like you said, a clear disconnect. It's like, well, you get to wear our clothing, why can't we wear yours? Well, okay, yeah, go hunt some buffalo and learn how to tan the hides and all. I don't know, there's such a disconnect and misunderstanding of I think all of this. I don't know, but I remember the jeans conversation.
Why I've never had anyone come up to me and get mad or whatever, but why do you want to go and wear buckskin anything? Not that it's a problem, but why do you want to wear those things? What's your reason? And also the jeans thing is like, are your genes connected to something sacred to your community, to your lands, to your culture? Are they used in ceremonies? Are denim jeans, any denim jeans, have they been used in ceremonies for time immemorial? Like, no. That is the difference. We are. It's like if we were to flip it and we said, well, for example, we use Bibles as coloring books. Well, why is that not allowed? What's the problem with that? Like, it just shows your ignorance to that other side, right? And obviously, people listening may have a more clear understanding of that example as opposed to what we're saying, but it is literally the exact same thing reversed. So if one's not okay, then the other one's not either. It's not a pick and choose because I want it, right? Yeah, these conversations, people like this, I low-key get heated about these things because it's just so ridiculous, these argument points. But
absolutely. So moral of the story is research the artist, ask questions, go to Authentically Indigenous next weekend, December 5th to 7th. We'll put some links in the show notes, and have conversations with the artists and where they're from, and what the beadwork and the paintings and whatnot mean to them. I think that relationality is important for everyone. And then like what you said also, Alex, about what is your intention in either wearing these beads, or is it for you, is it for them, or is it, I don't know. It's a big conversation, but a good one.
One more thing about that.
Yeah.
I know it's getting to the holiday season, so a lot of people go to these markets to buy gifts for other people. So it's not just understanding your own intention, but it's the person you're gifting that to, their intention as well. You have to understand that as well. It's not, your intention might be pure and appreciation, but the person you're gifting it to might not have the same mindset. So keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's, you're gifting some beaded earrings or whatnot to somebody, and make sure they know, okay, this is the artist, this is where they're from, and when you're asked, this is, you know, how to promote them and support them. So then it's not about you, right? So that was fun. So everyone, go to Authentically Indigenous, go to Moonstone Creation Native Gallery in Inglewood. We'll put the links in the show notes. Again, thanks to Kim Brothers for that awesome conversation. Don't put your mucklucks or your moccasins in the washing machine. Leave that to the experts like Yvonne. And stay tuned for another more episodes coming up. We're gonna record one that's a show and tell episode. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
That was a fun ending.